Hello friends, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Lisa if you're new here, and I am a homeschool mom to 5 and a military wife, and today I'm really excited to share with you just kind of an update on our homeschool year. I have done lots of grocery haul videos lately and not as many homeschool videos as I would have liked to have shared with you. So that is kind of what I'm doing today. It's going to be kind of just a chatty video, and I'm just going to kind of share with you what has been helping this year, things that we changed up. Again, you know that I am completely sold on Memoria Press curriculum, and the reason for that is I just knew that when we decided to homeschool, I didn't want to get all these different bits and pieces all over the place and always be changing everything up. I wanted a good solid foundation and a future goal in mind and everything to work together towards that goal. So I didn't want to have all these pieces together and kind of just all over the place. So that's kind of why I chose Memoria Press, and then we've just made it work for us. So I have struggling learners in different areas, and then I have children that don't struggle at all. So I figured that I would just kind of share with you what has been helping and things that we have changed to make it work for us. So that's what I'm going to do today. And I thought I kind of made an outline, and I thought it would be easiest just for me to just kind of work down from a couple basic things that have been helping me as I'm teaching them to read and spell, and then the rest of it I would just kind of go down from my eldest to my youngest. So that is what I'm going to do. I'm just going to go ahead and share with you, and you probably saw these in my recent hauls, but I got this book, and it's called Phonics from A to Z, and it's actually recommended on Memoria Press for teaching your children to read. It's super, super helpful if you want a good, thorough understanding of phonics, so that you can understand it well and you can teach it well, because to be honest, I wasn't taught this way. So that's kind of important to have. So that is why this was super helpful. There's little assessments in the back. There's also just a lot of walk you through how to teach different sounds, and then information on, teaching it and different problems and struggles you might have, that kind of thing. So this is really, really, really helpful. I actually got mine off Thrift Books, so you can do that. You can get used books and get them a lot cheaper. And then the other book that has been helpful in the same way, if you're looking for things to help you, again, teaching reading and spelling to struggling readers, or just readers in general, is this other one called Why Johnny Can't Read, and what you can do about it. And this is a great, great book. It's very old, and it's another one that's suggested by people at Memoria Press as well, and I didn't even realize how great it was. But it's also got down here, if you look, it says use this book to teach your child to read in 6 weeks. And it is really great basic phonics teaching in the back. It's just in the back. I mean, you could just use this and go straight along if you really wanted to use that to help you teach them how to read. So 6 weeks, that's not very long. I mean, I could just go straight through this book with them and over the summer, and maybe we could see if that even helped. So along with what we're already doing. So but I think that a lot of people with Memoria Press took things from these books and put it into what they're teaching. So like their classical phonics book is super, super helpful, and it has a lot of similar things in there to that. So it's less complicated. It's less complicated, a little more simpler, I feel like, than those. But so if you're looking for that, the classical phonics book is what it's called in the Memoria Press set. It's really, really, really been helping us. So if I see one of our kids is having trouble with one of the phonics rules, we just go back to those pages and we really overteach it, or I really overteach it, So that really helps all of them when I do that. So like I said, and look down my little list here and kind of share with you things that have been helpful. So first of all, my eldest, I have him in a 5th grade level for co-op and things like that, but technically he could be 6th grade with his age, but he struggled extremely bad with learning how to read and spell, and he still is, but we're to the point where behavior is no longer he's no longer having extreme meltdowns when we read. So now he's able to read a couple pages of the chapter book, and instead of just totally melting down with the thought of even doing school. So that is a huge improvement for him. So I'm really happy with the progress we're making. And so for my oldest, I do use a lot of more press things, and we're going to start getting back to that actually, because we've gotten so far just by in January making a couple adjustments, just increasing our time on Barton for him. And if you've never heard of Barton, this is what we are using, because like I said, he has I'm very sure that he has dyslexia like me. So this has been helpful for him. This has also been helpful for me. If you've never seen Barton and you have children that have dyslexia, this is the best thing to use. It's pricey, but it is so worth it. And you can do the tutoring training and you can tutor them. And so what we've been doing is been doing 4 hours a week right now with our Barton, and that has increased our progress by a ton. So that's what we're doing right now to kind of catch him up where he needs to be, or closer to where he should be for his age. Like I said, different states, different schools, different curriculums have different levels for different ages. They have different things you should have figured out by that age, but I want him to be comfortable anyways, where a lot of people his age are. So we are getting there, and this has been amazing for us. I'm so excited to see the progress that he's making with this. Again, we use the same, he loves writing, so we use the same cursive right hand. We're doing the IEW writing book this year, the Institute of Writing, for him. We're working on that, so we're working through it a little slow, but we're working on that. So that's been really good for him. He's still doing his grammar worksheets and things like that. So we're getting him caught up, and slowly but surely we're working on that. So as far as, like I said, reading and spelling, this is where we do this for him. And I am thinking that I might also this next year add in read one of the books for his age, for his read aloud time. So we won't do all 3 of them because we're doing a lot of reading, like I said, with Barton. So we are going to do 1 book at least and kind of slowly work through that along with this. So that is something that we have been loving. And let's see, the mammal studies, astronomy, different things like that for Memoria Press has a ton of writing in it. That really stresses my boys out. That's a little bit too much for them, my older boys, because one of them's struggling with writing and spelling, and the other one is struggling really bad with just spelling and reading and stuff. So what I have done is I've taken those books, and what I do, instead of them answering them on the paper, we use them more as a discussion among all of us. And so that works really, really well for us. I do the read-alouds for them. And in fact, we had a little bit left of mammals to do. And so what I did for that was we had this review week on a lot of the other stuff that we were working on, our other subjects, and we just did a quick review on those things that week. And then we mostly worked on me just reading aloud the rest of the mammals study and then answering the questions. And so I'll just kind of randomly kind of check and see if they remember everything that we learned, but that is how we're doing that, and it's worked really, really well for them. They learn a ton still, and it's just an accommodation I've made for my 2 older boys right now until we catch up to where we need to be with our spelling and things. That's what we're gonna do. So for those subjects, they're still doing writing in their writing and cursive time, and they're still doing it in their spelling time and things like that. So they're still doing writing during math. So that is, I mean, they're still getting plenty of practice there, just not overly to the point where they're frustrated. So yeah. The other thing that I really have loved is all my kids have had trouble with sight words, and those are just words that you cannot use the phonics rules to to be able to sound them out. So these have been super helpful. You could probably make your own if you wanted to, but for me, it's just been nice to have these, and everybody has been improving with these. They remember these sentences, they remember the pictures, and so this is called, let's see, I see, I spell, I learn. So that's what it looks like, and what it is there's a 1-pack, a 2-pack, let's see, level 1, level 2, and level 3. And so, let's see, they have some instructions on how to do it, but that one's upside down. But they have the sight word, and then what they do is they have pictures to help them remember it, and then you would look and there's a sentence on the back, and it says, who are you under that mask? So that's how that one would work. And this one is love, of course. And it's, I love that red train set. Can I get it for my birthday? So that's kind of how these work. And that is, like I said, those have been really, really good for all my kids. Even the ones who aren't struggling struggle with sight words. So that has been really, really helpful. And then they also take these and make their own set of flashcards. So they have certain ones that they're working on. So they draw the pictures on their own note card, and then they keep them in their binder. So we work on their sight words every day, and that has been just life-changing. So I have my 5th grader, then we have my 3rd grader. My 3rd grader has been struggling really bad with, let's see, spelling and handwriting. So I talked to this Simply Classical person, and she helped me a ton. So there are assessments that you can take, and then you can send them to her, and she'll help you kind of put them at the right level. So Simply Classical is part of Memoria Press, and it's like for children with special needs or struggling students and things like that. So this has been super helpful for me. So what you would do is you would get a Simply Classical curriculum manual, and it would there's different levels, like I said, so it's less about a grade level and more about where they are, and that's really nice if you've never checked that out. We are not doing the whole curriculum with him, but we are doing pieces of it. So we've been doing the writing books, and we already finished book 1. So I did kind of an accelerated pace for him because it was too easy the way they had it drawn out, which is fine. It said in the front, it said that was fine to do that. But so we're on the 2nd book, and then when we're done with that, we are done with this part of writing, and he can probably move on to his regular core curriculum, go back to it. Because like I said, he's doing really, really well in all of his other subjects. So as you can see, this is kind of what the writing looks like, and it's really, really helpful. It's simple. This is book 2. The other one is even more simple, and it helps them to learn how to write basic sentences. So they're struggling with writing basic sentences, and they're having trouble with their spelling and things like that. And so that is what this looks like, and I absolutely love it. Like I said, so that was book 2. I actually do have a book 1 in front of me. So book 1, there are books that you can read to them before you do the writing, but it's learning how to write a basic sentence. So you can see what that looks like. and then they learn sentence rules and they recite them every time. I mean, we're reciting them every single time we're working on our writing. And so basically what I've been doing is he's been doing this writing and the Simply Classical spelling so that we can get to where we need to get so that he can write simple sentences and we can move on to the tougher stuff. But right now I've stopped his other writing that is in his grade so that we can focus on this and get caught up, and he's made a ton of progress just by doing that. So if you are curious, like I said, the assessments are online under the different levels. You can print them off or whatever and then give the assessment to your kid. They're really simple, and then kind of figure out where they're at as far as levels, if they're struggling in certain things that they're needing help with. So kind of see where they might need to be at a different level. So like I said, that's been super, super helpful for him, and I have no doubt that he will be where he needs to be next year. So we are going to do some summer school for both of them. It just needs to happen to kind of get us where we want them to be, and I don't want to slow the progress. So we will probably take a couple weeks off, but we're going to keep going either way. We do have a big move coming up, so that will be part of probably our break. So anyways, that is what we're doing for my second oldest, my third grader. Like I said, he's reading things like 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, but he's struggling with his writing and spelling. So we're working on that. We're working on that classical phonics book. We're working on those sight words, and that is helping him a ton. So that's what I would say is if you need to go back and reteach some things and overteach certain things, do it, because it will be good for them. Don't just push them to move on when they're not ready. Okay, just don't do that. So that's been really good for me, because I went to school for teaching and I was taught to pretty much push the students through when they were not ready, and it's a really huge blessing to be able to homeschool my kids and my boys and be able to do things at their pace, to overteach things that they need help, that much help on, and it's been good for us. So another thing that I will see if I can try to show you real quick that has been huge for us is realizing how important it was to teach that skip counting at a younger age. So if you have not done that with your kids, make sure you overteach the skip counting and make it fun. You know, counting by 2s, counting by 3s, counting by 4s, counting by 6s, you know. Overteach that, because it's really, really important when they're getting ready to learn their multiplication and division. So we have been working on that a lot. But also something that has completely made it easier for my big boys to learn the upper multiplication is times tables. And it was probably, I think I got a special code, so it was like $24 or something like that. So I got 2 online videos and then a bunch of printables for them to practice their times tables. And so what it is they tell these stories, and the characters in the stories are actually the numbers. So if you can see, it kind of looks like that, and then they will go to the point where they no longer are doing them with the characters, but you'll see just the numbers. And boy, I'm telling you what, my boys have been doing them so much faster than before, and they're getting them. So they already understood the concept when I taught it to them of how to multiply and how to divide, but those bigger numbers were catching them up, and it was harder. And so, like I said, we have been overteaching the skip counting. I should have taught it more younger. I was afraid that would confuse them, but it doesn't. So don't skip that. And now my younger ones are getting that over teaching of skip counting. So anyways, this is so great. So it only they've learned the upper multiplication in only like 2 weeks. I cannot say enough about this. I'm not getting paid to share this with you. I'm gonna put a link below and you can check it out, but it's really fun for them. They just learn these little stories with these characters, and the characters, like I said, are the numbers, and then yeah, they learn their multiplication through it. So it's really fun and really good for kids that kind of have artsy brains anyways and see things with in pictures and things like that. So it's good for them for memorizing those. When they memorize the story, they memorize the multiplication fact. So like I said, been really, really good for us as far as multiplication. And another homeschool mom shared that one with us. So I think I've talked about everything that I was going to talk about mostly. Another thing is read aloud. I continually try to do all the read alouds and all the things, and there is no way that I could possibly do that with 5 kids. So what I can say is up till 2nd grade, I think, you want to go ahead and just pick one read aloud set, and then I pick one read aloud set for the upper grades, and that is what we do. And we work through those kind of staggering, like the younger ones and then older ones, younger ones, older ones, and kind of go back and forth a little bit. And that works really, really well for me. Sometimes I get the books on audiobook too. For my older kids, they like that. And yeah, that has been really, really helpful for us. And so I've learned a lot this year. Sometimes I feel like I'm not doing enough, or what I'm doing is not good enough, but we have been working so hard and I'm seeing progress, and that is what matters. So progress is what matters, guys, and not lining yourself up with any certain standards or anything. It's progress that you want, and if you continue to make progress, that's good. So just be encouraged in that. And yeah, that's kind of how our year has gone so far. Like I said, we're getting ready for a move, so I'm trying to continue to work really hard on school until then, and then we'll take a little break to move and continue on with school this summer. So that is how we're doing things. I hope that was helpful. If you have any questions about anything that I said that we're doing this year, you can leave them in the comments, or tell me in the comments how your homeschool year is going. Ours is going really great, like I said. My daughter, who's 1st grade, she is doing really well and enjoying it. She's kind of a spelling whiz and always trying to beat her older brothers at stuff. So that's her thing. And then I have a really struggling 5-year-old, but I chose to wait another year maturity-wise for him till he was 6 to fully do kindergarten. We have been working on our alphabet and things like that, but he's definitely going to need Simply Classical, and he's definitely going to need Barton for sure. So he's a very smart guy. He's very into building things, very technical, and loves planes and helicopters and things like that, and he can build some pretty amazing stuff with blocks that I never seen before, and draw some really detailed planes and helicopters and things. So he's definitely a smart kid, but he's definitely gonna have struggles with reading and spelling. So we are gonna start working on that, and now that I know what's worked for my oldest, I can start him out sooner on that, and we can make it a little bit easier on him. And then my youngest, my 3-year-old, is, he's a 3-year-old, so kind of crazy, and he memorizes everything, so he's definitely learning right along with everybody else. So yeah, like I said, tell me in the comments how your year is going. Ours has been going really great, and I'm very thankful for all the progress that we've had. And yeah, so thank you guys so much for watching. I'll be sharing a video here soon of the kind of egg roll or spring roll wraps that I've been making in my air fryer. that everybody really likes. So I'll be sharing that video too soon. Thank you guys so much for watching.